Alright guys, today we are in a VX SS. This is my favourite shape of SS. I love the styling of these, which I will show you shortly, but one of my favourite cars of all time, the VX SS. If you're not familiar with them, these have the LS1. This one is an auto, 180,000 Ks, but this particular one is not just any VX SS. No, this is an ex-police car. So this is an ex-Australian Federal Police. And there are a few small differences. So for example, no traction control. This car does not have factory traction control, which these cars would have had definitely. It's got a lot more increments on the dash there in 2 kilometers. And this one doesn't have a light there. Some of them have a dome light that you can switch on after the car's off. And what else does it have? Oh, it also has, if we turn the ignition on, you can see, hopefully, an electronic speedo. So those are the main differences, and there's another one styling difference on the outside, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, this car is one of my favorite cars. So if you're not from Australia, you might not recognize this car completely, or it might look a little familiar to some of my own cars. Like for example, I have a VT Calais that's a V8, but this is the first car other than the Series 2 VT that had the LS1, which goes extremely well. This is a very standard car. It does have a bit of an exhaust, but it sounds fantastic. This car drives great. Really, the only sign of any wear on this car is just this steering wheel, but as you can see, we've got a new one down there ready to go on. But yeah, you can sort of see that speedo in action. But again, back to the SS. These cars are so cool. My favorite shape of SS. I had a Ute that looked like this, a VUSS. Fantastic car, really reliable. You know, they do lifters and a few small things, these engines, but on the whole, LS1s, fantastic motors, really good. Now this one, because it was an AFP car and not a normal Victoria or New South Wales police car, this one is from New South Wales, is that it has worn really well. So this would have been like a parade car, or a car that follows units or whatever. So this one hasn't really been like a lot of the police cars. It hasn't been used and abused. It hasn't been used in police chases. It hasn't been used in things like that. And when I get out and show you the seats, I'll show you the bolster of the driver's seat. And usually with police cars, because the cops are sitting in the seat with their guns and all that stuff, it gets worn really easily, where this one's in fantastic shape. So because it doesn't have that, because no one has been sitting in here with all that gear, it's worn really well. Oh, they just sound so great. Now, I have gone on record saying that I'm not, you know, I do prefer the 5 litre in these cars, and that is true. I stand by that. I do prefer that than the LS1, but the LS1, man, it is, this car is the lightest SS they made. It really has some balls, this thing, and it really is very different than, it's really a big step above the V6, where that is not that true in the previous generations. And again, there's not many good police ones left, because a lot of hoons like these cars, because again, factory no traction control. I actually made an Instagram reel that did really well yesterday, just joking that this car is probably responsible for the most lost licenses. Even I know some of my mates back in the day that lost their licenses in these cars, because they just have so much pull, especially from 70 onwards. That is when it really starts to get crazy. It just doesn't run out of go. Oh, it's just such a good noise. A really good car. They have LSD, factory LSD, body kit. It looks like an SS from the outside. Again, there's only one styling change when it becomes a police car, which is it's missing some badges, which I'll show you in a second, just because they interfered with the AFP badging. But love this car, really cool car. I'd love to have a VX SS again, and I really do believe the VY and VZ SS there's just something about them. They just go so hard. And I admit I haven't driven at the timing of this video. I've never driven a VF SS, so I could still be proven wrong there. But I have driven pretty much every other series, all the way from, you know, all the way from VL, all the way up to VE. But VX and VY really go properly hard, particularly in the manual. Obviously this one's not manual, but yeah, they are just they're great cars, these things. If I was born 10 years earlier, I definitely would have been into the VX SS. They just were out of my budget at the time that these were cheap, because I was only maybe 19, 20, and I was into VNs and stuff that's a little bit older. When I got off my P plates, I did have a Ute version of this with a 6-speed manual, a VUSS, but I don't have that anymore. That was written off, as most young blokes do. Just made a mistake, not knowing how to drive properly. But I've talked about that in some other videos, so won't do it again. But yeah, I love the SS, and what we're going to do now is press the power button, and you'll see it. And just really fun car. Again, I don't want to flog the guts out of this one. It's a good car, so that'll probably be it for the video. Fun car, fun car, looks fantastic. Again, my favorite exterior styling on an SS comes from this car. It's just great, really good. I love the interior, which I'll show you. I will do a proper overview video of this car, but I just wanted to share what it's like to drive one of these, because it is fun. You know, if you're having a V6 and you're thinking about LS converting it, or you want to get an SS and you're thinking, oh no, it's not that much different, unfortunately you're wrong. You are wrong. The LS ones, the V8s, they are proper fun cars, and this really, you know, I've got a lot of I've got my own V6s, and they make great family and daily drivers, but as a weekend car or whatever, the LS is the way to go. The SS, they're just so much fun. Really love this car, happy with it, looks fantastic, love every single thing about it. Really well sorted, well balanced, styling is fantastic. It's one of my favorite cars that ever came out of Holden. You can probably tell that I like these things. They also came in great colors. This one's white, Series 2, white VX, but you could also get them in gold. I really like that color as well. Silver, another great color, black, red. But in terms of police, I think the majority of them were white, or the highway patrols might have been the gold color. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll pull over in a second and I'll show you guys the outside of the car, because if you're not from Australia, you probably haven't seen them before, and I'd like to show you what one looks like. Again, one of my favorite looking cars, and this one from 2002, so let's remember it's 22 years old. But yeah, love this car. It's got cruise control, air conditioning, all of that kind of stuff. And in terms of transmission, 4L60, you could only get I believe most of the police ones, if not all of them, were automatic, but for the ones available to the public, you could definitely get a 6-speed manual, which would probably be my pick, I think. Anyway, I'll show you what the outside looks like. All right, so we've just pulled up, and I just thought I would quickly show you what this perfect old girl looks like. Now, it is a touch lower than standard, but it looks fantastic. I love the SS front end. So if you don't know, they've got a different bumper than the standard VX. They've got black headlights and these fog lights which say SS on them. They are fantastic. These are the original wheels as well. These wheels came up on all of the VX SSs. This one has been affected by the SS badges peeling off, and it's got a few cobwebs and stuff. And in terms of the styling thing that I mentioned earlier, normally there is an SS badge here, but that interferes with the New South Wales Police Force badging, so it's removed, but it does still say it on the doors. But yeah, overall, great profile of a car. we have a look in here. The interior is fantastic. I love these. Good bolsters, and you can see there the driver's one is really good. And like I said, if this was a normal police car, this part would all be ruined. Just really great interior. Love it, love it. Love this car. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, like I said, this is my favorite SS. It really is. It's my favorite one they ever made. I love the styling. I love how quick they are. I love everything about them. They are really fun to drive. And if you want your car on the channel, or if you like these kind of cars, please follow along, subscribe, really. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.